Tons of progress has been made on Alpha 4.0, and the June progress report has all of the details. With all of the work going into 4.0, this will make it one of the biggest patches ever. After reading all of the progress made in June, it's beginning to paint a picture of just how big this update will be. So what are all the major updates coming to 4.0 and beyond? Well, in this video, we'll discuss everything in the most recent Star Citizen progress report for June. If you love to discuss the game's future, news and updates that are clear and concise, and enjoy seeing all of the great sim gear and peripherals in the market, smash the like button, share your thoughts, and consider supporting the channel by clicking that subscribe button so you can stay informed. Before I begin, I'll first apologize for the way my voice sounds. It's a bit off, so my apologies. At the top of the list, the AI features team worked on the behavior of grouped NPCs to create a more consistent and immersive combat experience. The development team has introduced a system where an object representing the group shares perception information about targets at the appropriate times. This will allow them to tailor the combat experience of various missions and will ultimately allow them to have control over who is and isn't being drawn into combat when it starts. This will hopefully begin making for more dynamic and realistic encounters. This will potentially resolve a lot of the issues we currently see with the response time of NPCs being rather unintelligent or slow, and will add additional challenges by making them more reactive. June also saw the creation of a new team within the AI group, known as the Game Intelligent Development Tools, that is responsible for evaluating and improving tools and processes to enhance AI capabilities. One of their key projects is improving the Apollo subsumption editor with a better user experience and will begin implementing features directly once completed. They also worked on other improvements that will enhance the team's overall development process and productivity. Furthermore, the AI tech team worked on optimizing parts of the vision system used by NPCs by moving parts of the NPC visibility check computation to the client. This improves reaction time and frame rates, especially when multiple players are on the same server. And they also worked on making AI transitions smoother between each server for when server meshing is enabled. The team also worked on implementing the ability to allow NPCs to use point defense cannons to track and destroy missiles and torpedoes. Now, whether these PDCs are NPC manned stations or simply AI blades that are automated is my first question. It would be nice to get more information on how this might function onboard player-operated capital ships such as a Polaris, Javelin, and Idris. I'm kind of hoping that these operate similarly to how PDCs operate in the Expanse, where you can have an operator in charge of deploying the PDCs and tracking incoming signals via radar. These would likely be size 1 weapons that are only capable of destroying missiles and torpedoes and not really doing a whole lot of damage to fighters to prevent this from causing issues in the future. However, I honestly foresee this being tasked to the manned turrets on board ships. Animation continue work on updating the Copion and ongoing issues they have. And they also worked on animations for new creatures as well that will undoubtedly be creatures in Pyro. All of their work is important for enhancing the game's immersive experience, and I'm really glad to hear that they're working on new creatures to add to Pyro. It will really begin making the various planets and moons feel more alive. The character art team also continued work on 3 new specialist armors and wrapped up work on the first utility armor. They also worked on concepts for new utility armors, and the team responsible for hair began work on new hairstyles and beards. There has been a lot of progress on the RSI Polaris, which is approaching completion for Greybox review. The exterior is heading toward a final content, including parallax occlusion mapping and lighting. The RSI Zeus Mk2 is also approaching its final content review, which it will be released in 4.0. Additionally, 7 unannounced vehicles were worked on, with 4 approaching white box review stage, 2 heading towards Greybox review, and the last one nearly finished. While I'm really excited about the Zeus being implemented in 4.0, it's one of those ships that really won't add much to the universe just yet, aside from being an amazing looking ship. The Polaris, on the other hand, will be a pretty massive game changer that will begin to shift how we think about combat in Star Citizen. After watching Avenger 1's video that showcased off the insanely epic and emergent gameplay with holding an Idris that couldn't be stored, this really has gotten me excited for what the future could hold for capital ship combat. If you want me to make a video of what I think the future of capital ship combat could look like, let me know in the comments below. Now, the 7 unannounced vehicles that they were working on, we'll probably more than likely not see these until IAE, but I believe that the ship in its final phase is possibly the Sabre Peregrine, which might be an interceptor version of the Sabre Raven. Moving on, the core gameplay team was hard at work developing more systems for Maelstrom that implemented a lot of the work they have done for large ships. They also worked on numerous improvements that will allow linking gameplay events with destruction sequences, advancing the ability to build complex destruction sequences easily. The team also worked on the transit refactor that will rework elevators, trams, and other various forms of transit, so that they will work better with server meshing when 4.0 is launched. With elevators and trams in Star Citizen often dropping players through the world, and trams flying off the rails into oblivion, this is a crucial feature. They worked on radar and scanning that will mostly focus on FPS pings to be used from specific seats, especially for ships without their own dedicated radar. They also worked on resolving issues with FPS radar that originally prevented them from detecting vehicles beyond the hull of a ship, and worked on the highlighting system when using the FPS ping that will allow them to color code various objects based on hostility, reputation, and more. Work began on removing the scan operator mode in favor of their new ADS scanning. As far as what all this will entail specifically, I'm not certain, but if we don't see anything around 4.0, then we'll likely see a lot of this work being shown at CitizenCon. A new mechanic, Delta Signatures, was implemented. Vehicles will soon emit signatures when performing certain actions such as ping activation, quantum boost, and master mode changes, with UI notifications for detecting Delta Signatures also being added. With a lot of this work being done, I believe it is the beginning of them heavily working on getting the core pieces of the exploration gameplay loop, which largely revolves around scanning and radar. The team also worked on implementing the Horde FPS mode for Arena Commander, as well as finishing up a new front-end restyle, which will enhance our experience when first launching the game and interacting with the various options like adding and inviting friends, and many other front-end UI improvements. The economy team made significant strides in setting up shops and balancing mission rewards according to player effort and risk. They also supported changes to cargo missions and rebalanced prices for various items, including vehicle components and commodities. The team was also at work creating a new economy for quantum and hydrogen fuel, ensuring refueling is convenient while maintaining the narrative feel of a large universe with unique economies. Every time I read about economy updates is usually one of those bittersweet pieces to read about. While I really appreciate getting economy updates, it also isn't the Quanta simulation where we have a fully dynamic and simulated economy. Honestly, if we don't hear from Tony Z this year at CitizenCon, many players, including myself, will be extremely disappointed. June saw continued improvements in Vulkan's stability, performance, and memory usage, bringing it closer to being the default choice for Star Citizen. The Global Illumination team worked on Radiance cache resolution, stability improvements, and optimizations with Fidelity FX. Gas cloud color processing volumes were added, allowing artists to vary the appearance of large gas clouds. The team also progressed with fire hazards, visual improvements for creatures, and a new managed entity region system for procedural entities. They worked on implementing GPU terrain generation that will begin putting the load on the GPU to generate virtualized terrain, which will be utilized in PlanetTech v5. This will hopefully begin to not only increase frame rates on the player side of things, but also on the server side. I'm also willing to bet that they will show PlanetTech v5 at CitizenCon this year. The in-game branding team continued work on signage for Pyro and began working on a new location with the landing zone team. New liquid cargo containers were finished up as well, with the Interactables team working on hazardous containers and implementing fully destructible states. The lighting team worked on finalizing the new acidic caves, pyro station modules, and outpost locations, and focused on making each atmosphere for planets and moons in Pyro to make them more unique. The landing zone team added variety to Pyro station modules and progressed with new biomes for future planets. With the team working on new biomes, it hints at them beginning to push beyond Pyro and onto a new system. The narrative team continues supporting the upcoming cargo gameplay, writing new mission text, and exploring the expansion of the social AI presence for when they begin work on 1.0. They also worked on lore and mission text for a future large-scale event mission and provided company bios for the branding team. In addition to improving chat, friends, and groups performance and scalability, online services also completed the social services backend overhaul. As a result, they said that Spectrum web portal users would be able to create and join parties with greater ease, and that the number of concurrent users and requests would increase. Moreover, they started testing potential features for Alpha 4.0, including a new version of Easy Anti-Cheat, overhauls to the mission and marker systems, and the development of player trading. The networking team continued working towards server meshing, testing various configurations, and capturing performance information to target bottlenecks. Obviously, this part is crucial because server meshing is needed for 4.0. The technical animation team made progress on a wide range of tasks, including working to enhance the realism of character interactions. And several creatures for 4.0 were also finalized. I'm willing to bet that one of these creatures is the Quasi-Grazer, but beyond that, I'm not sure what else they could have in store for us. Enhancements were made to the character customizer, offering more variety and customization options with new heads and hairstyles. And finally, the VFX team supported deliverables planned for Alpha 3.24 and 4.0, including the RSI Zeus Mk2. They also assisted on the work for the new biomes and modules for Pyro, and progressed with features like fire hazards, the resource network, and Pyro itself. From smarter NPCs and stunning new ships to creating more advanced gameplay and breathtaking visuals, it seems like they might be beginning to wrap up a decent amount of the work for 4.0. I hope that we get to see the patch at least go to Evocati pretty quick after 3.24 is released. Alpha 4.0 is the next massive leap forward that will truly begin making Star Citizen feel like a whole new game by adding a new location that will allow us to travel to via a jump point, server meshing that will increase the player capacity on a shard, and increase server performance and tons more. Once we get information on 4.0, I'll be sure to keep you all in the loop. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to in Alpha 4.0. Remember to join our community by subscribing to this channel, where you'll be provided clear and concise news and updates on Star Citizen, and reviews of some of the best gear and peripherals in the sim and gaming market. If you want to join the channel and support the creation of these videos, then consider becoming a member and get special perks such as loyalty badges, priority replies, and access to special channels in my Discord. And if you want more information on what features I think will be delivered in 4.0, and the ones that are confirmed, then you'll want to check out this video. Fly safe, pilots, and I will see you in the next video. Havoc out.